So, in our ongoing exploration of the factors affecting affordable housing in Lexington, Kentucky, we delve into the critical aspect of the issue of exclusive zoning practices. Now, as we peel back the layers of history and economics, we'll uncover how these practices have not only shaped the city's landscape, but also impacted the lives of its residents. Now, the roots of exclusive zoning laws are, in essence, gatekeepers of neighborhoods. Now, they dictate the types of homes that can be built in a given area, and in doing so, it determines who can actually live there. Now, this isn't a recent development. Now, the origins of such laws, they can be traced back to the 19th century. Now, this is when cities were grappling with, fire hazards and light and air regulations. Now, one landmark moment occurred when the United States Supreme Court outlawed explicit race-based zoning. Now, this was in the landmark case of Buchanan v. Warley in 1917. Now, but as we often know, adversity breeds innovation. And so city planners found indirect methods to maintain this segregation. Now, for instance, in St. Louis, zoning laws in 1919, they were crafted to preserve unaffordable areas for most black families. Now, Seattle's 1923 zoning laws showed a similar pattern. Now, there were areas of housing where black or Chinese American families often regulated to commercial zoning. All right, so economic theory, it also aligns with the real world consequences of exclusive zoning laws. Okay, so what's that mean? So by placing barriers on housing, these laws inherently drive up housing prices. So a 2005 study famously found that Manhattan, New York's condominiums cost 50% more due to zoning restrictions. So the impact on social welfare, this can be very profound. So research has spanned from 1989 to 2015, covering nearly the entire U.S. population, and it illustrates that neighborhoods shape children's long-term outcomes. Now, the effects cascades into earnings and opportunities. Now, poor families locked out of high opportunity neighborhoods due to inflated housing costs faced a really stark disadvantage. Now, lower test scores and widening social inequalities become the norm. Now, it's not just about economics, though. Exclusive zoning practices, they have a hand in racial segregation, leading to disparities that persist even today in 2023. Now, lower income, predominantly minority neighborhoods often become heat islands. Now, these are plagued by higher temperatures due to the lack of greenery. Now, this impacts not only health, but also the ability for them to learn and develop human capital. It's a vicious cycle. Elevated temperatures decrease educational attainment. I didn't even really know this until recently. Additionally, housing restrictions hamper labor mobility. Now, workers can't afford to relocate to high productive cities with exorbitant housing costs, like Lexington is becoming. Now, this miscalculation of labor has weighed down the U.S. economy's growth rate, as studies have suggested recently. Now, the cost in terms of GDP is far from trivial. So furthermore, exclusive zoning contributes to the racial wealth gap. Now, when black families are excluded from higher priced neighborhoods, or their neighborhoods are zoned less favorably to most people, the value of their homes stagnates. And this stagnation goes over generations. Now, this phenomenon accounts for the more than 30% of black to white racial wealth gap. So what's the way out of this housing quagmire that we're in? Well, the American Jobs Plan, it offers a glimmer of hope. The Unlocking Possibilities Program is a $5 billion competitive grant initiative that incentivizes the reform of exclusionary zoning. It rewards jurisdictions that dismantle unnecessary barriers to affordable housing and expand housing choices for low to moderate income individuals. Okay, so this program, it also encourages community engagement to identify the most potent levers for affordable housing and backs new land use and zoning policies. Now, this program, it aims to rectify the enduring inequalities in the American housing market. Its potential benefits are substantial. Increased access to affordable housing, allowing previously excluded Americans to move to areas with greater opportunities. And this is a great chance for Lexington to have more black families to accumulate wealth through homeownership. Now, I'm just Rock Daniels, but I have opinions and I have a vision. I have a vision for Lexington. Now imagine, if you will, Lexington, where exclusive zoning practices no longer held sway in our city. Picture a city where innovation solutions like factory-built tiny homes were welcomed with open arms by our city leaders. These homes are not only cost-effective, but some models priced as low as $10,000. There is a model by Tesla that is $10,000. But also they're environmentally friendly, well insulated, comfortable to live in. With more inclusive zoning, smaller lot sizes, and the possibility of additional units on each lot, Lexington could swiftly address the housing shortage. This isn't merely a matter of housing, people. It's a question of affordability. Economics tells us that cost is a variable that's driven by supply and demand. Now, by increasing the supply of housing, we can alleviate the burden of demand and ultimately lower the cost. The American dream, which my father traveled from Pakistan to America for, once synonymous with the home ownership, should remain attainable for future generations. Young people today often voice concerns about the eroding possibility of owning a home on their current career trajectories. The specter of inflation and rising cost looms large, and the dream of home ownership seems distant to them. So in the second part of our series on affordable housing in Lexington, we've examined the intricate web of exclusive zoning practices. These laws, rooted in history and economics, they have far-reaching consequences that touch every aspect of our society. However, there is hope. There is always hope on the horizon. The American Jobs Plan, with its Unlocking Possibilities program, it offers a potential remedy because it's a step toward leveling the playing field and ensuring that all Americans, regardless of their background, have the chance to realize the dream of home ownership. Lexington's future can be one where exclusive zoning practices are left behind us, and they can be replaced by inclusive policies that welcome innovation and creative affordable housing for all. Now, the path forward is challenging, but as history has shown, change is not only possible, but it is necessary for progress. In the next part of our series, we'll explore another key factor in affordable housing, because this is an equation that can be solved. So stay tuned for more insights and solutions.